This is the NQAT Daily. I'm here talking with Wayne, and today we're going to talk about the fact that Sir Alex Ferguson will no longer be an official ambassador of Manchester United after Sir Jim and his team cut his ambassadorial contract. Are you outraged, Wayne? I'm outraged.
Yeah. I'd let you talk to me about your outrage, Ed.
No, I to be fair, I'm only going to be outraged if Stake pay me a lot of money to post pictures with some clickbait or rage bait. Other than that, I'm not outraged. No, I think this was basically a thank you from the Glazers to Ferguson. It's apparently £2 million a year, which I only learned today.
Yeah.
And so he's made, 24 over the last 10 years. It's a nice golden goodbye, isn't it? Should warm up his pension pot some. So I don't think Fergie will take this with any offence. And in the context of maybe this is 20 normie jobs, and Ferguson's not going to be short money. He's all right. And to be honest, he should have been given equity in the sale because he made all that value for the Glazers. He just sold $1 billion worth of shares. So that's my general feeling on it. But I know that's not true of everyone because I've seen the internet and some people are angry about it.
Yeah, I think it's a funny one. With the Stake thing, by the way. What a good comment, Ed. Do you know, what I always find funny about stuff like that is that they put the stake on an image that someone else has taken.
Yeah.
It's a photograph that somebody else has taken. You're claiming copyright.
Yeah.
They do it with the videos. People do it on the video and they put a watermark on the Premier League. And, I'm all for freedom of use, but they go, oh, no, it's my video. It's not. You weren't there in this stadium, mate. You weren't there taking that picture or video, but you've claimed ownership of it.
The format is find some wedge issue. Like, I don't know, this player has scored this many goals and this player that they left has scored twice as, they let go, scored twice as many. Then put the logo. They do it in a third. So clearly there's a format that everyone follows. But it's very odd.
Anyway, Fergie.
Yeah, good viral campaign. They've got their name out there, even if it's shitty. Ferguson, how do you feel about it?
I think I can see why people are upset because I think it's like obviously it's a historical thing and cutting ties in what looks like cutting ties in a symbolic way. Never looks like a good thing because it looks like you're cutting the old adrift, and United don't do that. And they haven't done that, really. They haven't done that. I mean, like you said, it's one heck of a golden handshake, 20-odd million pounds. Better than a watch. Although there are some watches probably do cost 20-odd million in this day and age.
Donny Trump is selling watches. If you want one,
maybe if he's in the market, he can get one then. Sorry, but all the other things, I mean, you can any deeper study into the actual news about this is still going to be around the club. He's still on the football board making decisions.
He'll get a stipend for that as well. I mean, it won't be much. It'll be a day rate, but
I mean, the point is, I mean, he retired 11 years ago, and I mean, don't we all want to make 20-odd million pound in our retirement?
Very much, yes. That would be nice. I mean, I'd get out of bed for it.
So he's
10 mil. I don't know.
No, Ed, you don't know, listeners, viewers. Ed is unscrupulous with his. If this podcast doesn't make £5 million, he does not move out of his bed.
Sure thing. Yeah,
Fergie, I get both sides of it, but then you look at the fact. I mean, I'm here to give you some historical balance and context. When Sir Matt Busby retired, he was on the board for 10 years. The idea was that he and Louis Edwards would hand the club over to their sons. Never quite worked out like that did for Louis, but not for Matt. But when Brian Robson signed, Busby actually resigned from the board in protest at the fact that the fee was £1.5 million. Atkins had promised Robson was solid gold, and I mean, he made good on that promise. Yeah. Nobody can say that Robson was a value for money, but Busby was so appalled by this, but he resigned from the board, and the club's decision, their reaction was to sort of give him the megastore. And they did. I don't know how long that arrangement lasted, but it was basically Matt Busby's megastore, and then that was his reward for what he'd given the club. So And he was at the club till the day that he died. He was present on all the major successes and everything like that. And hopefully, in Ferguson's lifetime, we'll have some more major successes, and he'll be present to see those as well, and be part of that. He's part of the club. He'll never not be part of the club. He is the man who has given the blueprint of how to restore a club to its identity. Everything, there's nothing that is destroyed or tarnished from his like I said, nothing that's disrespected either. I actually think it's a good look for Ferguson. I mean, we could go different topic completely, but people will go back and forth over his involvement with the Glazer takeover, where in a summer where so many people lost their jobs, for a man who was retired 11 years ago to sort of amicably step aside, and he has done by all accounts. I think it's not a bad look all around.
No, not at all. I don't think this is disrespect. I mean, it's financial penny pinching, marginal gains on the finances, isn't it? They think they're going to save about 40 to 45 million plus this, I guess, a year, because there's other ambassadors they're going to cut ties with, apparently, as well, including maybe Robson. I'm not sure whether he's a paid ambassador or not. So they're just trying to make
things. Those things I'm less. I mean, wait and see until
we'll wait and see. Yeah.
With regards speculation, but those things obviously less enamored with, because there'll be players who
kind of need that cash. Yeah. I think in a year when they made a lot of job cuts and they're saving, as I said, 40 to 45 million by 2025, this maybe saves 10 jobs, 20 jobs, who knows? Like normies at the club, vast majority of people are not earning millions of pounds, they're just earning a normal wage. In the context of that, it's fine. I do kind of think, basically, he created all that value for the Glazers by helping them make the club into the club it was and continue its success, right? So he was a major part in all that wealth. The reason why sponsors wanted to come along was because of the success and the empire that Ferguson had built. So I'm totally happy with him making a lot of money over and above his wage. And that probably should have come in equity, to be honest. The Glazers should have given him 1-2% of the club, as effectively some kind of co-founder of their era of the club. But instead, it was a £2 million a year ambassadorial contract for a decade. I think it's perfectly reasonable. And there's no slight on Ferguson at all. As you said, he's going to be on the football board, which isn't particularly important, other than, I guess, it's advisory to the real board. Although it includes the executive team, I guess. So maybe that's a slightly different one. They're the key decision makers.
Yeah.
I do think one of the reasons why people are angry is, generally people have lost patience with Erik ten Hag. And so it's a kind of unfair compare and contrast. We're comparing the apple to a banana here, aren't we? And going, well, Ten Hag's keeping his job, but Fergie's losing his. Isn't that outrageous? One of them was brilliant, the other one has failed. I'm paraphrasing the kind of narrative, and I kind of understand where people are coming from, but they're just not related in any way, really.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, by the way, every decision's important too, because down the line, someone will be affected by that decision. And
sure,
even if you would say that those decisions are inconsequential in terms of a football match, the football club operates on football matches with its players. There's still people whose livelihoods, whose relationship with the club is affected by the decisions that are made by the football board and things like that. And I think that really relationships are defined, strengthened, lessened, weakened by those decisions. And if you've got one of the people who's synonymous with the club, like top 3 people of all time, attached to a decision, then it means all the more. It does carry all the more weight. So for whatever those decisions may be, you would want some kind of kudos from Sir Alex Ferguson for that. The rest of it, it's funny because if this decision had been made before the staff call, maybe a little bit easier to palate. but like people have lost their jobs, and that £2 million could have done that. I mean, it might do moving forward. It might save some people jobs, but there are some good people who've gone. It is a weird thing. Because it's only news because of the person that it is. He's still going to be around. He's still going to be at games. He's not going to be any less visible to the public.
Do you think they'll make him buy a ticket?
No, I think he'll.
He's in the posh seats as well, so he should be getting one of those hospitality tickets that are burger and fries for £350.
Yeah, well, I somehow think he'll keep his seat, so I don't think he has to worry on that score.
No, and he's doing well in the loyalty pot.
The equity thing is interesting. Just to go back again to give it historical context, £25 million we're saying is what he's been received since his retirement in this fee. When United were approached for takeover by Michael Daniel, the fee was £10 million and £10 million to develop the Stretford end, so £20 million. When Eric Cantona joined the club, the club was worth around £60 million. And when Eric Cantona retired, a year after, the club were subject to a £623 million takeover. It would be interesting to know, because I am with you. I think like Alex Ferguson's contribution to that is immeasurable, and £25 million as attached to his salary, what he received while he was in charge, fully deserving of it. It would be interesting to know the leaps associated with other players, because one argument I was made is like Cantona's singularly responsible for that trajectory, really. So
it's an amazing return on investment. 1.2 million buy him, hundreds of millions in value later he leaves. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and it's even with Fergie, it's kind of hard to separate that out, because of course he was completely instrumental in the success of the club going forward, but was he instrumental in the broadcast deal, like 10xing in a decade? No, not really. I mean, that was to do with competition in the media market and growth of the overall football as a media property market.
Oh, hang on.
But,
let me jump.
Make a counterpoint.
I will, because
please
do. Can you remember that quote where a couple of weeks ago someone said, you'll tell me the name of, it's Graham Souness, he said Arsene Wenger is not a serious football man, which is pretty much, it's up there with one of the most ridiculous quotes of the year. I mean, if anything, he was too much a serious football man.
I know. I spent a decade hating Arsene Wenger, but I'd absolutely never say he is not a serious football man.
When you say about TV deals and everything like that, the point of the Premier League and the appeal of it for the first decade, let's say decade, 92 to 2002, was its drama. The propensity for that drama to increase and elevate was linked to Ferguson's proclivity to gamble, without question. The number of times he gambled, the way in which he gambled, the scenarios and situations for those gambles were so ludicrous sometimes. And I'm saying 92 to 2002 because that was the first boom, but really his entire career at United. And that drama is almost up until Manchester City scored in the last minute, or a little bit with Blackburn as well when they won the title despite losing on the last day. And even then, United are involved in both of those things. Yeah. The idea that United's their link to that is so significant because of Sir Alex Ferguson that you can't disassociate them.
The product was so much better for Ferguson being involved, and that has helped inflate the value. The other thing that really drove it, though, was a monopsony in the supply market for media in the UK. That's the thing that. I'm sorry, that's like the corporate person in me coming out. That's the thing that really drove the massive increases. There was not too many people bidding for. There's one product. And not too many people bidding for it, but in fierce competition. Anyway, he has been absolutely central to United's growth and football's growth in the UK. I don't, much as I would like the 25 million he's been paid over the last decade himself, and I did not get that much, sadly. I do not begrudge him at all, but at the same time, I don't think this is a real insult against Ferguson. He's still got his stand and his statue and his seat in the director's box forever, and he'll still be involved in some level of decision making at the club. And I hope we see him at many, many games shaking his head in disappointment as Erik Ten Hag deploys his donut formation yet again.
Donut formation, I love it. No, seriously speaking, one of the greatest things about United is the tradition and the history. One of the greatest moments in United history is seeing Sir Matt Busby celebrate the title win in '93.
Yeah.
For a long time, even for 2 years before that, we thought one of the greatest moments would be Matt Busby celebrating in Rotterdam, because he saw like the club almost on the crest again. But seeing him celebrate the title in '93, and then when he died in January '94, that 2-month period after that, probably starting with that game against Everton, which was the first game after, United played some of the best football in their entire history. And it would be nice, like I said earlier, the biggest tribute beyond any position is United getting back to what they used to be on the pitch in a manner that Ferguson recognises before he passes, that you can see something that resembles something that he built, and be content that it's there for the supporters to enjoy. That's the biggest tribute that anyone can pay for him. I don't know if it can be achieved with a donut formation, or even £25 million, because there's nothing quite like watching your football team win, and we know Sir Jim has invested quite a lot more than £25 million to try and see that happen. So
quite a lot more, yes. And by the time he completes the takeover in 18 months to 3 years' time, it will be a very large amount of money indeed. Well, hopefully Ferguson will still be around to see United play at the Sir Alex Ferguson Stadium at Ineos Park, or whatever they're going to call it, when the new thing's built in a decade's time or something like that. What's Ferguson now? 81, 2, something like that?
Yeah.
I forget. All right. Well, that's it for the daily. We're not that offended here. There might be some rage online, but hey, Fergie will always be part of the club,
and there'll always be rage online.
Yes. All right. Bye now. Thanks a lot.